Hey, it's Simply Unique and it's story time. Today's topic is my craziest relationship. Okay, so honestly, I have a tie between two relationships. Um, so I've been openly bisexual for about 7 years now. I came out my freshman year in high school. I gave that fun fact because it relates to this story. So, one of my craziest relationships was with a male, and one of my craziest relationships was with a female, a stud to be exact. So, I'm gonna talk about the male first. So, this male, let's call him Fuckboy. So, I was dating Fuckboy for about a year, and it was the one of the longest years ever. Like, I went through so much, so much. So it everything started off okay. It started off a situationship, like, and I was okay with the situationship. It was cool, It was very chill, just vibes, no expectations, just cool. And eventually, he was the one that pushed for it to be a serious relationship. So I was like, you know what? Okay, let's do it. So me and him started dating seriously, and even that, it started off pretty good, pretty decent, typical happy relationship shit. And then things started getting a little fishy. Like, it just started being weird and just odd things started happening. So one night when I was spending the night with Fuckboy at his house, it was the middle of the night and he got a call and he thought I was asleep. So as soon as he answers the phone, someone is yelling through the phone, "Fuckboy, where are you at? You ain't been answering my calls and you haven't come home yet. Where the hell you at?" Now him giving the sorriest excuse ever and trying to whisper because he thinks I'm asleep. He says to her, "Oh, I lost track of time. I've been chilling with my homeboy at his house. We've been drinking and I fell asleep here. I'll be home later." Now, me just overlooking it was the wrong thing. Because if I knew me overlooking that situation would put me through a year of hell, I wouldn't have did it. I wish I could go back and take it back. So that was one of the first things that was, kind of fishy that was going on, but I overlooked. And so we continued the relationship, and it's like he always would call me at random times, but if I called at random times, it was always an excuse, "Oh, I didn't hear the phone. Oh, I was asleep. Oh, I was playing 2K with such and such." It was always some kind of excuse. And still, like, I kind of overlooked it because we were together often. Like, we would take trips, travel, sightsee, almost every other weekend to every weekend. And I just didn't want to know or see what I thought I knew. And I'm the type of person, I like hard evidence. I don't like something that could be the possibility of something else. Like, I like hard evidence. So once I'm done, I'm done. And throughout the span of the year, things just started getting worse and worse. He started becoming super insecure. Like, I literally had to share my location with him. If I didn't answer his phone when he called once, he'll call 50 times more. He'll FaceTime, he'll call on Snapchat, he'll call on Facebook Messenger. It was always something. And in the midst of every time, I was like, you know what? I'm done with this situation. he will try to pull the sympathy card like, no, you're the only good thing I got left in my life, and without you, I'm nothing, and shit like that. Even to the point where sometimes he would threaten to commit suicide. I literally felt like I was in like a movie. Like, it was horrible. And at one point, that just stopped working for me. I remember this was kind of the last straw for me as far as overlooking things, and I started becoming vengeful. So one night, I went to go drop a friend off at Food Lion to meet with another friend, and I parked by this car because something in my mind just told me to park there. And him and this female come out of the store. Now, my car is very recognizable. Anybody that sees my car knows it's my car. So, of course, he noticed my car, and he throws on his hoodie and rushes to get in the car. He's so rude, he doesn't even help the female with the groceries to put him in the car. So me, I'm being like super petty. Like, I'm staring into the car at him, and I know he felt me staring, but he refused to look. And I kept staring, and I kept staring, and then eventually he finally looked up at me. And I wanted to get out the car so bad and like make a scene, but the person that was in the car with me didn't know about me and him. I kept that relationship very secretive for a very long time, and I didn't want to make a scene in front of that person that was in the car with me. So as soon as him and the female pull off from the store, he magically texts me after he hadn't texted me in like 2 hours. And I'm like, so you really about to act like ain't nothing happened? Okay, we both gonna act like ain't nothing happened. But now I'm about to turn my savage up. So I started doing like little trifling things, like I would go out places and not answer his calls and texts because I know he would lose his mind. I would hang with different people because he knew all of my friends. I would hang with different people because I knew it would just bother the hell out of him. I just would do all type of things just to try his patience. The insecurities built and built and built. It was just horrible. And I remember one night I was like, you know what, I'm over it all. I can't do this anymore. And he was like, well, you're the best thing that happened to me, and I don't deserve to live because I did this, that, and the fourth. I'm gonna take this Ambien and go to sleep. So I'm like, wait a minute. So I'm calling, texting. He's not answering. So I tell my friend to call him. He doesn't answer her. So I'm driving to his house, hysterically crying, everything. I pull up to his house, and the house that he's staying in, it had like a window at the top of the door so that like you can actually see inside of the house. And so I knock on the door. I'm banging on the door because he was actually living with a friend at the time. And I'm banging on the door, and next thing you know, I see the hallway light come on, and I see him running down the stairs to the door. At that point, I'm completely livid. And I'm on the phone with my friend, and she's like, get out of there, Nee, before you go to jail. Go home. So I get in the car and I drive home. On the way home, he's blowing my phone up. I'm not answering because at this point, I'm completely pissed and I'm really done. So because I'm not answering, he pulls up to where I live and wants to talk. Like, at this point, there's nothing to talk about. You played on suicide. Like, that's not a game. Like, that's not something you play about. I was so pissed. And I was like, at this point, I can't be with you. I'll be your friend to help you stay sane or help you get strength, but I'm no longer your girlfriend. That's just out of the question. So I guess in the midst of that, he thought that I would eventually take him back by being his friend. And little did he know I was very serious. So a couple weeks passed, and I guess he realized I really was serious and I wasn't taking him back. So in the middle of the night, he calls me, and he's at this river. And I hear the river in the background because I hear how strong the water is flowing. Like, I hear it. And he can't swim. So I already knew what this was supposed to lead up to. From learning from that ambient situation, I wasn't about to drive to that river. I wasn't about to waste my time, because if I would have drove there and he was just standing there looking stupid, I would have pushed his ass in. So I called his friends, told his friends to go get him, because I wasn't about to do it. It was just crazy. It was too much. And by this time, I had started talking to my second craziest relationship, my ex-girlfriend. So all on this same night, he tried to run her off the road. He blew my phone up the entire night. He sat outside of my ex-girlfriend's apartment the entire night. And when I come out the next morning, he had keyed my car. By this point, I'm ready to beat him in the head or something. Like, at this point, I'm ready to fight. But I was like, you know what? It'll end up flipping on me, and then I'll be the one locked up on some shit. So I called the police on him. And sure as hell, he did pay for that paint job. Now, to move on to the crazy ex-girlfriend. I was with her about 8 months. Every other month, every other week, we were fighting and breaking up. I don't even understand how we lasted that long. Like, she was super insecure. And because I'm bisexual, it was a problem for her. But I was like, you knew this from the beginning. This is something I told you from the beginning, because I know most gay girls have a problem with bisexual females. But you still chose to stick around, so I'm not understanding what's the problem. Any male friend I had, she would accuse me of having sex with them or talking to him behind her back. Like, it was horrible. And oftentimes she would get drunk and she would try to argue and then eventually try to fight. The first fight me and her ever got into is when I went home for a Christmas break. I took her with me. Now, anybody who knows me knows nobody meets my family. Nobody. So I actually took her home to meet my family. Literally, the drive from Virginia to where I'm from in Florida is about 12 to 14 hours, depending on how you drive, depending on the route you take. So the entire 12-hour drive, when I wasn't asleep or when she wasn't asleep, we were arguing. So we get to Florida, and the first night, I take her to meet my friends. You know, we're all chilling, you know, gathering together, playing games. It was game night. So she eventually got too drunk while we were having game night, and she just was acting crazy. So, you know, I text her because I wanted to be discreet. I didn't want her to feel like I was outcasting her in front of everyone. I texted her and I was like, hey, you need to calm down a bit. You're kind of drunk. And She texts me back, oh so disrespectfully. She texted me back and called me a bitch. So I was like, we need to step outside and talk. So we go outside, and it started as a talk and escalated to an argument. And she decides that she wants to push me. First she pushed me. I was about to overlook it and just walk back inside before a fight started. And then she pushed me again, and at this point I tripped and my shoes, my slides literally came off my feet. So at this point I'm fucking pissed. So I start charging at her and we begin to fight. Now where we were in a predominantly white neighborhood, predominantly rich neighborhood. And of course, because all you hear is the yelling outside, someone called the police. So the police come, and the only thing that saved us from going to jail is the senioring officer that showed up was a vet, and he knew I was a soldier. That's the only thing that saved us from going to jail. You would think after that, I should be done, No. I still stuck around for even more months of verbal abuse, mental abuse, and I can't really say physical. Well, I could say physical abuse, because the fact that you even want to put your hands on me, whether you lose to me or not, is still physical abuse. And there would be times, it was always something about a dude. I'm like, I never understood like how someone could be so insecure when you literally spend all your time with them. You come home from work, get in the kitchen to make sure they have a meal when they get home from work. Every weekend you're trying to take them out to do something special. Always keeping them informed of, hey babe, I'm going here to get this, or hey, you want to go with me here? Like, I never see how you can be so insecure about someone who's very open with you, someone who gives you the password to their phone, never hides anything. I never understood how you can be so insecure with someone that's very open with you that way. We got into several fights, but the last fight that we ever got into was the absolute worst. I was helping with this event, and like in this volunteer group that I was in, and we got back really late. So I get home to her and she's completely drunk, completely sloppy drunk. And I come in and it started as a conversation, and I'm the type of person, I hate people who are sloppy drunk. It's a major pet peeve of mine. I don't like it, and it just rubs me the wrong way. So I was like, you know what, I'm about to go to bed. And she got upset, so she started trying to pick a fight, and I was like, you know what, at this point I don't have time to deal with this anymore. I'm packing your shit and you gotta go. So it goes on, and she decides to swing at me. I'm the type of person, I will not start up a fight, but I guarantee you I will finish it, and I will finish it well. And she decides to swing, and so I started whooping her ass. And it got to a point where I was like, you know what, I can't keep doing this. So I stopped. And she was steady trying to argue, and I was just not trying to have it. And she eventually tries to escalate even more. She picks up a mason jar. Anyone who doesn't know what a mason jar is, it's one of those little small glass jars that you see in movies where they like catch fireflies, or that you see people selling food out of. She picks up a mason jar and decides to throw it at me. I caught it and I started beating her up again. And I stopped again. And she starts arguing some more, and then she tries to pull me down the stairs. Like, all of this stuff that she's doing, I'm like, wow, you really have lost your mind. So when she tries to pull me down the stairs, I was like, okay, you want to go down the stairs? Let's go down the stairs. Now, keep in mind, her back is facing the stairs. So if we go down the stairs, she's breaking my fall. So I was like, let's go down the stairs. So we went tumbling down the stairs, and of course, like I said, she broke my fall. And we were steady fighting, and it got to the point where I literally just drug her out of my house. I drug her out, and it was too much. And at this point, it was like, you know what, I can no longer date this person. So after that day, I was really done. I was done, but I had such a big heart. Like, even though I was no longer in a relationship with her, I still gave her a place to stay. And that backfired on me too. If I didn't learn from the first situation, I don't know why I didn't learn from the beginning of that relationship. I gave her a place to stay even though we were no longer together, so that, you know, she could get back on her feet, you know, do what she needed to get herself together. I leave out of town for the weekend, and when I come back, like on a Saturday afternoon, I come back and there's shit missing out of my house. So at this point, I'm livid. I'm fucking livid. I go looking for her. I even went to her job. Like, it was horrible. And I could not find her. I couldn't find her. And at this point, it's like, anytime I see you now, it's on site. Any fucking time I see you now, it's on site. And that's literally how I felt. And I blocked her on everything except Instagram, I believe. And one day she randomly decides to hit me up on Instagram, trying to make amends, trying to be cordial. Me, I'm the type of person, I don't hold grudges, but at the same time, you do me dirty, I don't fuck with you. I was like, you know, I'm straight on you, you know, we cool, but I don't fuck with you. And it got to a point where it was always trying to be an argument again. And I'm like, I don't have the energy for that. I don't give a damn what you're saying. Like, it don't matter what you're saying at this point. And still to this day, I feel like if I ran into her on the street, I'd be fighting. I just feel that in my heart, because lying is one thing, you know, verbally and physically abusing someone is another thing, and, you know, but betrayal and theft, if you'll steal from me, you'll kill from me, like the old saying say. You'll kill me, not kill for me. You'll kill me. And that's just the ultimate level of disrespect for me. So I just feel like anywhere I see her, I'm whooping her ass. All in all, like, if you're ever in a situation like that, or even remotely close, get out of it. Don't accept it. Don't accept what you don't deserve. Don't bow down and just lay down and take it. Get out of that situation. Make someone treat you better, or they don't belong. It's that simple. And I just feel like I wish I would have done the same but I'm no longer accepting anything less than what I deserve. And I just feel like as queens and kings, we all should. I know the last story was kind of remotely ending with this same moral of the story type effect, but it's very important because people are losing their lives, whether they're taking them themselves or being beat to the point where their lives are taken behind something like this. Honestly, just be careful. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Tell a friend to subscribe. And of course, there will always be more videos. Thank you.